So definitely every Manchester United faithful is happy knowing that, yes, their team is certainly on the way back to the top of the summit. A very warm welcome to you, sport lovers across the globe. Welcome to Mega Sports on Omega 101.7 FM and radio, your own radio. It is Monday, the 5th day in the month of September, the first Monday of this month. And look at that story this morning. Andy Ruiz Jr. defeats Luis Ortiz in their boxing encounter in the early hours of today. Nick Kyrgios was able to defeat Daniel Medvedev in the current US Open. We'll be giving you more updates from the US Open. Chan Eagles lose to the Black Galaxies of Ghana on penalties. Super Falcons lost their first leg of the friendly encounter against the United States of America. Manchester United and Arsenal's dream start to the season as Manchester United make it 4 straight wins at this point. I will be giving you every result from matches played across the globe. Well, it is Muna who will be piloting this very plane as we'll be moving 360 degrees around the world of sports and talking everything, giving you every sporting gist that you need to know. I'm not alone in the building. I have Oscar with me. There's no Benjamin this morning. I don't know why, but I have Oscar with me. Oscar, good morning to you.
Yeah, good morning, Muna. Good morning to our listeners this morning. Welcome to another edition of the Mega Sports on Omega 101.7 FM radio, your radio. And it's surprising that Benjamin didn't come in, given that they got that huge win and he would have been on my neck throughout today. But we'll get to know why he didn't show up.
Definitely. Now, quickly, let us begin the show this morning. We'll start from boxing. Remember that there were certain events that we had to expect from the boxing world in this month of September. And one of those anticipated encounters was a fight between Andy Ruiz Jr. and Luis Ortiz in their very own encounter. Andy Ruiz was able to win that encounter via unanimous decision, 113 to 102, and a double, 140 to 111 during the course of their encounter. So it was a very good one for Andy Ruiz, who is dubbed as the King Kong. They call him the King Kong. He was able to defeat Cuban boxer Luis Ortiz in their encounter. So how does this win mean for Andy Ruiz Jr. in his career?
I think he's gradually, getting back to form again after all that Anthony Joshua, fracas. And he's a very fantastic boxer. We also saw that in the first fight against Anthony Joshua. And it's good to see him, winning matches again and then moving up the ladder. So I hope he might get to face UCH for those rounds. Yeah, it's going to be a fun watch because he's been known to be quick on his hands too and on his feet like UCH. So it's going to be a very good watch if it were to happen.
Well, let us see how it will go down, because Andy Ruiz now is already showing signs of wanting to return to the big cards. But now the big question now is, what is next for Andy Ruiz Jr.? Is it going to be the encounter against Anthony Joshua or Deontay Wilder? Because there are reports stating that it is these two encounters that will be on the table for Israel. So if you were Andy Ruiz, which will be your perfect pick?
I think if it's looking to fight with somebody that is a boxing legend already, you go to with Deontay Wilder. But fighting 2 times against somebody, there is still that air of it's still uncertain. We don't know who is the winner. So it always leads to the third bout where the ultimate winner is decided. So I think his third fight with Anthony Joshua will show who is better between the both of them, because right now it's 1-1. So they need to have a third fight to settle it once and for all. But I think if he's going to move up that card, get into the big cards, I think he fights Deontay Wilder, and if he wins that, maybe he gets a chance at the belts.
Well, let us see how we go now. But Anthony Joshua currently is not in the right head, but he's still in training. I want to see a picture of him on social media. He has gone back to training despite what happened with Alexander Usyk in that encounter. He's back in training, and let us see if, surprisingly, because I'm sure that throughout the end of this year we will not see him in action, because he will probably be resting and trying to get back in the game. Now, still talking about everything boxing. Now, Alexander Usyk versus Tyson Fury's encounter, Usyk has refused that the rematch will be done in his country, because there were reports saying that Tyson Fury wants the match to be held in Ukraine. But Usyk has come and said that no, it will not be held in my country. Let us look for possibly a neutral ground or summer. Let us just look for a neutral ground where this encounter is going to do. What do you think is the plan of Fury?
Why would Tyson Fury want to go to Ukraine and beat it? it's going to be, yeah, I get that. So but losing in Ukraine with everything that is going on is going to be really devastating for him. So I guess it's too much. There is no need to politicize the fight. Let's just go to a neutral ground, and then whoever wins is still fair game.
Well, in the words of usage, he says that fighting Tyson Fury in December is impossible. First, I have old injuries. Second, I simply don't want to box in December. I've left the gym for half a year. I want to be with my kids, my family. Boxing can wait a little. Next year, I think it is going to happen, with the words of usage. This was so quickly. Next year now, we'll be anticipating a new year. Entering the new year, we'll be shocked with this fights coming at our table at this point.
Yeah, I think all boxing fans are going to be equally anticipating this fight. It's going to be a blockbuster. But I think that Tyson Fury still has what it takes to take on usage.
Tyson Fury still has what it takes. Well, let us see how, because Tyson Fury yesterday, during the course of the whole WWE encounter that happened throughout the weekend, he was watching the WWE. He was entertaining himself, and he eventually went on to punch a particular wrestler, Austin Theory, showing that my fists are still working despite I'm on break.
You know why I say he still has what it takes to take on usage. I watched the usage Joshua fights. Nothing really happened. It wasn't
this previous one, right?
Nothing exciting really happened in that fight, because usage was not throwing. Nobody was even throwing heavy punches. So I think Tyson Fury with his his heavy punches, he can take on usage. Usage normally dances around and throws his jabs and then defends. But I think Tyson has what it takes to take him on.
We'll love to see when that encounter is going to go down, because everything looking set is like this encounter will go down in 2023. February is the likely month to host this encounter, but no date has been fixed, because you could hear that Usage says no fight in December. He wants to be with his family. Then possibly next year they think of what is going to happen. Now, moving over from everything that happens in boxing, we're moving over to tennis this morning. Now, in the early hours of today, it was surprising. Daniel Medvedev has been in fine form in the US Open. All his encounters right from the first round up until this knockout round, it has all been straight set victories for Daniel Medvedev. Now, he faced Nick Kyrgios early hours of this morning, and he lost in that encounter, which was very, very shocking. It was a very, very long match between both of them. Nick Kyrgios won 7-6, 3-6, 6-3, 6-2 in that encounter. Now, do you see Nick making sure that, because he hasn't won any major trophy since emerging into limelight after that shocking run at the Wimbledon and then making it to the finals, do we see this Kyrgios' opportunity to lay his hands on a major trophy?
I think throughout this year in total has been and you see the consistency we've been talking about.
He has been consistent.
He's showing that consistency. So I think he will carry that into the later stages of this tournament. And I'm banking on him to win this tournament, because he's been outstanding throughout this year. He's been outstanding.
He has been good.
He's played the opponents he's played against. I think he only lost that game against
Novak Djokovic at the finals of Wimbledon.
Yeah, and since then you've seen the consistency. He's been taking on people, and he's been beating everybody that has been standing in his way, and convincingly too. Like I know Medvedev, he's the world number one. So
that's another question I will ask.
It's always going to take long to beat him, but beat him he did. So I think Kyrgios is really showing his mettle in this tournament, and in the game of London is too, showing that he's here to stay.
Now, another question quickly. The ATP rankings were recently released for the month of August, and Medvedev was still in the number one spot, but there was no Nick Kyrgios in the top 10. Now, you looking at the fact that he was able to defeat Medvedev in this US Open, is there a chance that Kyrgios will be able to surface into the top 10 or possibly top 15 of the ATP?
If he keeps doing, he's coming from a very long way out.
That is the thing.
So if he keeps doing what he's doing, he'll gradually climb that ladder. I think after this year, he should be somewhere that he'll be getting mentions, because he has had an outstanding year. The only thing that is remaining are those trophies.
Those trophies,
getting
yes.
your hands on those trophies, and I think maybe he will get 1 or 2 before the year runs out.
Let us see how it will go for Nick Kyrgios, who defeated Daniel Medvedev in their own encounter. Now, Kyrgios is going to face Karen Khachanov for a spot in the semi-finals. Now, another fun fact is that the last US Open he participated in, Nick Kyrgios, he lost at the quarterfinal stages. He left the competition at the quarterfinals, and now currently he is in the quarterfinals. So let's see if he will break that jinx and move into the semi-finals and possibly get his time, because I would love to see him win it. That's why I'm a fan of Rafael Nadal. Now, talking about the US Open proper. Saturday, Rafael Nadal defeated Richard Gasquet 6-0, 6-1, 7-5 straight sets victories. Not surprising, Jannik Sinner defeated Brandon Nakashima 3-6, 6-4, 6-1, 6-2 in their own encounter. Matteo Berrettini also defeated Alejandro Davidic Fokina in his encounter. Casper Ruud was also on winning streaks yesterday, as also Karen Khachanov also on winning streaks, who will take on Nick Kyrgios in the quarterfinals. US Open for the women's category, Iga Swiatek Everly always winning in straight set. Who can stop this lady? She has been on straight set victory since the first round.
Yeah, I think it's the women long tennis, so we never know what to expect, really. You might just wake up tomorrow and hear that Coco Golf or somebody from nowhere has come
in. That would be very surprising.
And beat Iga Swiatek. So, but she's the person to beat in that tournament. So anybody that is being seated with her will, have that at the back of their mind, knowing that
she is the one to
beat in this tournament, and it will be a positive to her, going forward. So I think she should just keep her head. I can't keep doing what she's doing.
Well, let's see how we do. Iga Swiatek once again, straight set victories for her. Arena Sabalenka was able to defeat Clara Burel 6-0, 6-2. Another straight set victories. Danielle Collins defeated Alice Cornet on Saturday 6-4, 7-6. Caroline Garcia defeated Alison Riske 6-4, 6-1. And Kobe Coco Golf able to still make sure she wants to continue her run encounter. She defeated Shori Zan 7-5, 7-5 straight set victories for her. So in the early hours of that time, 6-6-2 in his encounter. Later today, we will see Cameron Norrie take on Andy Rublev. Francis Tiafoe will take on Rafael Nadal. Now, looking at this encounter, Tiafoe has been really, really impressive, and Rafael Nadal has had mixed emotions. His wife is currently in the hospital, and he's trying to battle to see if he can get the best out of his year to and possibly extend his win run for most Grand Slam titles. Now, what do we take of this encounter later today?
So, if anybody can, progress past this round, it's going to be Rafael Nadal. He has shown it, that winning mentality he has. The focus he has to, push everything else aside and then focus on what is doing best. So, I think if anybody is in the right frame of mind to make it past this round, it's Rafael Nadal.
Well, let's see how we go for Rafael Nadal up against Frances Tiafoe in their very own encounter later today in the US Open. Ilya Ivashka will take on Jannik Sinner for the last game of today in the men's US Open. For the women's category, Ajla Tomljanovic, the woman who dramatically defeated Serena Williams in the last round, will take on Ludmila Sasmonova in her encounter. Onas Jabeur will also be in action. We're going to see Jessica Pegula also in action. Iga Swiatek, current number 1, will take on Joe Nemia, and Victoria Azarenka will take on Caroline Pliskova. Iga Swiatek, another straight set victory or an upset. Which one do you think?
It's like I said before, with the inconsistency of the women's, but I still think she wins this one. Even if it's not in straight sets, she still wins this one.
Well, let's see how we go in the women's division. Now, moving over to Africa. Now, we have a sad news this morning from the Commonwealth Games. Uzubechi Grace Nwokocha, who was part of the Nigerians 4x100 meters relay team that dramatically won a gold at Birmingham 2022, just concluded Commonwealth Games, has been suspended, saying that she tested positive to a banned substance. She was involved in doping activities, which is very sad. And now, if it is truly confirmed that she was positive for this doping test, Nigeria will be stripped of that gold, and England would be given this gold in first position at this point, and which will be very, very, very sad. Remember, Blessing Okagbari did the same thing, and it nearly affected the team from not participating at the Commonwealth Games. Now, what could be the big issue? Could we say it was pressure that due to the fact that Issy Brume and Tobiloba Amuson were already doing well for Team Nigeria. They got the much needed gold for us, and pressure was on them, because if you remember, Favor of Philly was also not feeling too good for this race as well, and her coach was like saying that there were reports that she wanted to back out. What could have been the issue that made Grace Nwokocha dive into this topic?
So first of all, I will, hold back my comment since it's not been decided.
It has not been decided yet.
Because for me, as long as I'm concerned, there's a witch hunt against Nigeria in the whole of this tournament. People were like calling out the times. They are surprised about what
they were surprised because
Nigeria were doing. So the investigations are what we expected. They are going to investigate in Nigeria, definitely. So I think they've gotten their hand on something they want to,
because if I can remember, there was a particular point that said that they will really, really want to test it, because they were all surprised that we were able to amass such number of medals at the Commonwealth Games.
Yeah, it's what I'm saying. It's a witch hunt, but it doesn't still matter. It doesn't matter what happens. But if she had taken any substance to help her win, there's nothing we can do about it. They are going to have to follow the rule of the sports and then strip us of our gold, which would be very, very, very sad for the other ladies who put their
heart and effort
to get that gold. I think Nigerians should really, really, really think about things, how their own actions are going to affect the team and the other ladies who have like Blessing Okagbere did. I don't think she considered, okay, what of my teammates, what's going to become of them? And if she's found guilty of this, it's going to be a really sad development for the Nigerian athletes.
Well, as I said earlier on, the 21-year-old tested positive for Ostarine and Lingrandol, according to the AIU, which is the AIU is the Athletics Integrity Unit. For everything happening in athletics, they make sure that you uphold integrity to the maximum ladder. And now it could be, if it is eventually certified that Nigeria was involved in doping, England will be promoted to gold, Jamaica will move to silver, and Australia will move to bronze. Now, the second bad part of this is that if Nigeria also tests positive, we are going to face a penalty of up to 4 years out of athletics competitions, meaning we will miss the Paris 2024 Olympics and we'll miss the Victoria 2026 Commonwealth Games if we are found. Now, these are the two big events during the course of this 4-year ban.
That's going to be
it will be really, 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 really sad for us.
It's going to be really devastating if this works out. But let's just stay positive and keep our fingers crossed that maybe this is the white witch hunting the man. Yeah, because that's all we can hope for right now. Because if this happens, then it's I really think that we were making strides in the athletics field. So,
we were
to cut it this short, and it's going to really take us a long time to get back to the level we are in now. So we just have to keep our fingers crossed that nothing really happened.
Well, we'll love to see what is going to become of this encounter when it comes out, because we will not want to see our very own athletes, their good run, halted at this point. Now, don't you think this is going to make many athletes feel like I don't think there's any need representing Nigeria, because this whole doping of it thing brings bad image for the nation whenever we go out for outings, and it drags athletes from saying that what's the point of representing a country where I know eventually one person will be like, okay, let me involve myself in order to raise my standard in the nation, and it eventually affect, because from what Blessing Okagbare did, she's feeling sober. Now, if Grace Nwokocha is found guilty, it is another second case, and we know it certainly cannot stop. It certainly cannot stop. But let us see how it is going to go down. We hope, as Oscar said, that it is just a case of misunderstanding and the white witch hunting us. But let's see how we're going to. Still talking about sad news this morning. It was very, very devastating, because the Chan Eagles, they fought everything. They fought their way. They did everything possible. They tried looking to see if they were going to get early goals. It didn't work out. But the first goal of that encounter came in the 76 minutes from Zilikifiu Mohammed, who was able to score in the 76 minutes. And in the 90th minute, we were able to make it 2-2 from Chijoke Akuneto, and he made it 2-2, and we headed into penalties. But the Ghanaians prevailed 5-4. And as it stands now, we are not going to be at the African Nation Championship, which is CHAN, for the year 2022 Algeria, which will be held in Algeria at this point. Now, during the press conference, the head coach, Salisu Yusuf, was not able to attend the post-match conference because he was shocked by this. What do Nigeria now?
I don't know why he was that shocked. Like the boys, they put in their hard work. You know, it's not easy to come from a 2-goal down and equalize.
But they didn't score early. That was just the point. The Ghanaians, as we said, they came to defend.
Yeah, I was saying it. They did. Their coach was saying, we are not going to go and defend. They are definitely going to come and defend. Any team would have defended. But I think it's credit to Nigeria for still getting the 2 goals they needed, but they couldn't apply the finishing touches to win that encounter. So it's the first time we're missing the chance.
The second time actually, because the first time we missed was in 2019, and now this is the second year running. We've not participated, and it is very, very sad. And come to think of it, Ghana were able to do the double over us.
It's a reflection of our league, our home league. It's a reflection of how poor it's been. That's all I can say. It's been poor the past couple of years. It was okay before. There was a time when watching Enyimba was playing in the CAF competitions year in, year out. All this we had.
And players were coming out.
Our players was coming up. So I think this thing is a reflection of our domestic league. The standard needs to be upped. Like, it needs to change. It needs to come up a bit for us to be competitive in this type of competition. I think that's why this competition was even created, so that home-based players will get a chance to participate in tournaments. But given how poor our domestic league is, it's showing, it's telling. That's just what this thing is about.
But looking at it now, looking at how we missed out on the CHAN now, could we say that the WAFUB tournaments that we played, that it was just a walk in the park for us? We're not able to experience tough opponents in that just concluded WAFUB championship because we went on to win it. But looking at it, we were not able to qualify for the CHAN, the African Nations Championships. It is a very big dent to whatever they might have won.
I don't think it's the same set of players that played the both tournaments. Like I said again, it all goes down to the quality of our domestic
league.
I think Berekum Chelsea in Ghana, you have the Asante Kotoko. They are better. Their league is a bit better than our own. So it's always reflecting, because this tournament, I think, it's going to still be dominated by the likes of Egypt, Morocco, even South Africa can compete. Can now say they will be competitive in this type of tournaments, because like our domestic leagues, the standard has dropped. It has dropped a lot in recent times, and I think the NFF needs to like we've always been saying, look into our domestic league, do something about it. The pitches we play in, the management of the league itself, the player welfare, and everything. It needs to be looked into and addressed before the next tournament, or else we'll keep missing out on this tournament.
Well, let's see how it is going to go now. Still talking about losses again. Super Falcons lost to the United States of America in their friendly encounter. They were trashed 4-0 in the first leg of that encounter.
No, it was expected, really.
It was
expected because this is one of the best female teams
in the world
currently. So we are just coming out from a tournament that we
didn't do
well in that tournament. So I think they are still carrying feelings from that tournament over. But it's still a friendly game. It's a warm-up match. I think in the second leg, even if we do lose, it's not going to be this bad. Yeah, I think the coach would have seen one or two things where it would be like, okay, this is what we need to change. This is what we need to do better. And it's also an opportunity to learn from the best. So it's a great opportunity for them.
But the encounter will be tomorrow, which is the 6th day in the month of September. So we'll love to see how Super Falcons will respond, losing 4-0 in the first round. Still, lastly, an African news this morning. I have to tell you that Bayelsa Queens were able to win the WAFUB title and qualify for the Total Energies CAF Women's Champions League. The last time, for the last edition, Rivers Angels of Nigeria were in the final to Ghana's Hausa Ladies, and they lost 3-1. But yesterday, we were able to defeat Ghana's Amtre Dako Ladies 3-0 to make sure that we clinched that very trophy in Cote d'Ivoire. So we were, let us say, we were still able to defeat Ghana.
The women are still doing us proud. I keep saying it.
The women did us proud.
Yeah, it's still the women doing us proud. In every tournament and in every competition we've been going through. So congratulations to the Bayelsa Queens for their triumph. Shows it's because of their hard work and their dedication, and I hope that they keep that same energy and that same level going on to other tournaments, and hopefully they do well too.
Well, let us see that hopefully they do well. Miracle Joseph, Flomis, Sebastian Choma, and Chinyere Igbomalu found the net to seal the 3-0 victory over the Ghanaians. So since Chan Eagles were not able to defeat the Ghanaians, our very own Bayelsa Queens of Nigeria were able to defeat Ghana's Ampeme Dakoa ladies 3-0 to make sure that they clinch the Wafu B title. So now they will be participating, they will be making sure that they are participating at the CAF Women's Champions League, which will consist of club AS FAR of Morocco, Wadi Degela FC of Egypt, Green Buffaloes of Zambia, Melody Sundown Ladies of South Africa, Determined Girls of Liberia, and Simba Queens of Tanzania. So that is how it is going to be. And the CAF Women's Champions League will kick off on the 1st of October till the 13th of November in Morocco. So let us know if we will do it. Remember, Morocco, they were the ones who hosted the Women African Cup of Nations, and we did not do well because we crashed out in the semi-finals of that encounter. But let us see if we'll be able to break these things this time around. Now, moving over to Europe this morning, quickly, we'll start on transfer notes. But I have to tell you that Diogo Costa will join Wolves if he proves his fitness today, because as it stands now, Wolves have their striker Saja Kadazlic, who they were able to sign in the transfer market. He is on injury. He suffered ACL injury on his debut against Saturday, and now Raul Jimenez picked up an injury on Saturday in their encounter again as well. So they are left with no striker. So they would be signing Diogo Costa if he passes medical evidence. So quickly, Oscar Costa will making a return to the Premier League. He was able to do stunningly well for Chelsea during the 2014 to 2017 while he was in the Premier League, scoring 59 goals in 120 appearances. He is returning. The beast is returning back to the Premier League.
It's a big add. It's a big plus to the Wolverhampton team. They are getting an elite striker. Like, they are getting somebody that is going to, hunt defenders. Like, he gives you trouble throughout the game. Even if he's not playing well, he's going to taunt you. He's going to, get in your face and rile you up and get you sent off. That's what Costa does. So I think it's a good move for them. And I'm really glad to see Costa back in the Premier League.
Well, this is a good one to see Diogo Costa back in the Premier League. He will be moving for his medicals tomorrow. For who it was linked with the move to Rayo Vallecano, but that did not work out, as currently he's still with Atletico Mineiro. And he is a free agent. So he will be traveling to Washington on Tuesday to see what will happen about that deal. We'll be hoping that Costa will make that return to Premier League, because it will now be very, 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 very great news, because every defense will be up and doing, because strikers are beginning to hunt defenders down. Now, quickly, look at results of matches that were played across the weekend. Quickly, we'll begin on Saturday, the 12:30 fixture. Everton against Liverpool. Now, this encounter ended goalless. Liverpool were not as exceptional as we know them to be. On the other hand, Everton were fantabulous, because this is, if you ask me, it was their best game that they have played under Frank Lampard as he turned their manager, because they were able to play a 0-0 draw in a game where Everton should have won. They had a goal disallowed for offside. Cody got on the score sheet for them. But quickly, what do you think of this encounter? Everton 0-0.
I think the fact, first of all, is the fact that it's a Merseyside debut.
Yes.
So it was never going to be an easy one. And Everton are at the place in the league now where they need to start winning matches and picking points. So I think that's part of their motivation going into this match. And then secondly, I've always said it, Liverpool has not been convincing throughout this season. Even though they won a match 9-0, but still their performances, the performance level dropped a lot.
Another quick talk. There was no Mohamed Salah to be able to do what he should do if you are earning such amount of money, and if you are the club's highest paid player, you were not able to at least turn up for the team.
I think Klopp has not really found out the best fit for his front three. You know, the losing Sadio Mane.
It's still affecting them.
It's still haunting them. They have not really adapted to life after Sadio Mane. They are still changing things around, trying to see who fits where and know whatnot. And it's getting late in the season. They are dropping a lot of points, and you see teams like Manchester City, Arsenal, even Manchester United picking
points at this point.
And you're dropping points. It doesn't tell well on Liverpool. So I think Jurgen Klopp needs to look at his team again. Redraft his team and see what he needs to do, because Liverpool, they are not the Liverpool and before they lose that fear factor, because once you lose it will take you a whole long time to get it back.
Well, quickly now, when I was watching this encounter, I was particularly impressed with what Iwobi was able to do in midfield. Iwobi was exceptional. It's just like as if Lampard was just the right coach to rejuvenate Iwobi's footballing career, because when Everton were able to steal the whole show from Liverpool was when they brought in Idrissa Gueye to play in that midfield with Iwobi, and then leave Iwobi to play the moving 8. Idrissa Gueye was automatically the number 4 for that midfield, and then they took over the midfield in a midfield where they had Milner in the midfield, they had Fabinho in the midfield, Harvey Elliott, they even brought in Roberto Firmino, did everything. Iwobi was still commanding others in that midfield. What will you say now? Because if he comes back to the national team, it's a different thing altogether.
I still think his problem is he always needed somebody to tell him to keep it simple. And if there is one midfielder that is known to keep things simple in the middle of the park, it's Frank Lampard. He'll tell you the little passes. Just make the easy passes. Don't try to do too much. You're not JJ Okocha. Don't try to dribble.
Simple.
Just see the pass. You make the easy pass. Make yourself available to receive the pass, and then look for the best person to pass the ball. So I think if any midfielder is going to do well under any manager, it has to be under Frank Lampard. We saw him with Mason Mount. He's struggling currently, but under Frank Lampard, he was a different kind of player.
Yes, that's
so
true.
I think midfielders are definitely going to thrive under stewardships like that of Frank Lampard and Steven Gerrard too.
Well, let's see how it is going to go quickly. Brentford defeated Leeds 5 goals to 2. Ivan Toney has scored a hat-trick and a spectacular free kick as well.
And he was like, now you see me.
So Ivan Toney is becoming to have life interesting in the Premier League. He was once linked with a move to Manchester United, but it didn't work out. Brentford, Thomas Frank is actually doing well with this team at the beginning phases of the season.
The only thing I would say is that Tony doesn't stay in that team next season. I think he makes that move.
Next season is so far January. There's every possibility the team will come to buy him out.
Make that move. So he's a wonderful striker. His hold-up play, his link-up play, his finishing. He has an eye for goal, and he's very, very strong. Like
he's strong.
Yeah, he's very strong. So I think he has all those. He has that kind of rubber feel to him. So I think the bigger things are starting to take notice of him.
Oh, quickly, Chelsea defeated West Ham 2 goals to 1. What do you make of this encounter? Ben Chilwell coming off the bench, providing a goal for himself and an assist for Kai Havertz in that encounter.
That match, it was a horrible first half from Chelsea. They were horrible in the first half. They couldn't get their passes moving. They were not quick. They were very sluggish in that first half. And the combinations that were played, it was surprising until the second half. Tuchel had to make those substitutions, bringing in Broha, Kai Havertz, and Chilwell. It's not to say that Cucurella was actually bad, because the goal Kai Havertz scored, Cucurella played the same pass to Sterling. You remember in his first match, and he was deflected.
Yes.
So I think it was about being at the right place at the right time, and then a slice of luck, because the defender could have gotten to the ball first, and then the incident that happened after that, the second goal went in where West Ham scored, and I went online and it was Chelsea robbery. And I was like, yeah, so people are actually commenting, but when Cucurella was pulled from the head out of the stadium, and everybody was quiet about it, and now a decision has gone away, and he was like, Chelsea has
even Cornet missed a golden opportunity in that encounter as well.
Yeah, to score. Yeah, his first touch. That header, it should have been a
He entered 13 seconds into being subbed on.
He headed
against that encounter, that goal.
I think these things happen. Yeah, people get decisions against them. I think Arsenal was also complaining about the decision against them against Manchester United.
Yes.
Yeah, they had a goal chalked off, and then Everton was complaining against
Liverpool
that should have been given to Van Dijk. I think it all shows the level of refereeing in the Premier League. It's not up to standard. I think the FA needs to look at the refereeing. So we can't keep every week we are complaining about referees, even though we now have assisting them. So I think they should look at their referees and see what they can do about it.
Well, let's see how we go. Chelsea defeated West Ham 2-1. Newcastle and Crystal Palace played out a 0-0 draw. Nottingham Forest lost to Bournemouth despite going 2 goals up in that encounter. Bournemouth able to pick up their first 3 points of the season under their new coach. Tottenham Hotspur won Fulham 2-1. Wolves defeated Southampton a lone goal to the, and surprisingly, Aston Villa held Man City at the Villa Park 1-1, but that did not stop Erling Haaland from getting on the score sheet.
I think it's about being clinical enough. Manchester City could have finished that game off very early on, but
Kai Walker missing that glorious opportunity,
to square the ball back to Haaland. And I saw the frustration on Haaland's face. He was like, "I'm here, and I'm the one that puts the ball in the back of the net. I was free." So I think they read those missed chances when I don't know what Ramsey is still doing in Aston Villa. Why are people not seeing Ramsey? Jacob Ramsey is a midfielder. I don't know why Chelsea we even tried to price Anthony Gordon 60 million and somebody like Jacob Ramsey
is actually doing well.
People were looking for midfielders all around and nobody called it the name of
the boy. The boy is an excellent player.
I'm a very huge fan of Jacob Ramsey. Anytime he's playing, I always want to watch.
Well, let's see how it is going to go for Aston Villa, because Steven Gerrard has been able to at least revive the team a bit after getting a point against Manchester City. And if I have to say this morning as well, Troy Mings is the only centre-back who I know might be able to contain Erling Haaland this season. That is if he makes that move from Aston Villa to a bigger team. But in the Sky Bet Championship, Blackburn Rovers lost to Bristol City 2-3. Luton lost to Wigan 2-1. Millwall defeated Cardiff 2-0. Norwich defeated Coventry City 3-0. Preston End lost to Brigham City 1-0. Rotterdam United played at a 1-1 draw against Watford, and Swansea won Queen's Park Rangers 1-0. German Bundesliga, Union Berlin played at a 1-1 draw against Bayern Munich. Another surprising result from the weekend. Bayer Leverkusen lost to Freiburg 3-2. Werder Bremen defeated Bochum by 2-0. Stuttgart and Schalke 04 played at a 1-1 draw, and Wolfsburg lost to Cologne 2-4. And Eintracht Frankfurt, another surprising fixture, defeated RB Leipzig 4-0. In the French League One, Auxerre lost to Marseille 2-0. Lyon defeated Angers by 5-0. And Paris Saint-Germain defeated Nantes 3-0 in a game where Lionel Messi got 2 assists for Kylian Mbappe, and also we saw Nuno Mendes get on the score sheet as well. In the Spanish La Liga, Mallorca played 1-1 against Girona. Now Real Madrid were able to grind out a win against Real Betis 2-1. They didn't have it easy, but they were able to win the encounter. What do you take of this? They are down now. Currently, they've not lost any game.
Yeah, it's the Real Madrid spirit again on display. They always find a way to grind out. Even when you think they're not playing very well, they still find a way to win matches. So it's a making of a great team where even on days where you're not playing well, you still find a way past your opponent and get that 3 points, because that's all that matters.
Well, let us see how it will go down for them in their next encounter, because it will be the champions. The Real Sociedad played 1-1 against Atletico, and Umar Sadiq got himself on the score sheet.
Even with an injury.
To his head.
I was watching that ball and I was like, wow, why are people complaining? Because he could have gotten more. He was a menace in that to that Atletico backline. He was always tormenting them. He was agile. He was making the good runs and all. It was a different Sadiq. And I think this move is going to prove to be
a very big one for him
in his career.
Well, quickly, Sevilla lost to Barcelona 3-0 in a game that should have ended more than 3, because Barcelona were firing on all cylinders. Lewandowski on the score sheet once again. Now, what do we make of this Barcelona new look attack this season?
I think they have all the attack they need. But the question still, I don't think their defense have been tested yet.
They've not really been tested yet.
Going forward, Barcelona has all it takes. They have all the goal threats they need. Rafinha is scoring. Lewandowski.
Rafinha also scored during the weekend.
Lewandowski is always going to score.
Dembele is also doing well.
They are going to score goals, but the issue now is they need a test of their backline to know how strong and how cohesive they have become. Because that backline is a changed backline, so it needs testing to see how cohesive they
the only test Barcelona was against your Sociedad when Alexander Isak was able to score against the run of play in that encounter. So let's see how they will be tested when they will resume Champions League. Italian Serie A, Fiorentina played out a 1-1 against Juventus. Now the Milan derby went down and AC Milan won Inter Milan 3 goals to 0 for the first time in 6 years. AC Milan have not won Inter Milan when they played at home for 6 years. So that was a very sounding victory for them. Rafa Leao getting 2 goals and Giroud also on the score sheet.
Giroud on the score sheet. I was a bit concerned when I had the price tag that was placed on Rafael Leao. But after that match, I was like, okay, if we are pricing Anthony Gordon 60 million
then we are
getting Anthony for 89 million. So it's not far off. I think he was fantastic. He showed his brilliance. He's like a younger version of Zaha. He plays the kind of ball
yes,
Zaha plays.
So, Zaha.
It was a joy to watch, and Giroud still doing his thing. It was fantastic to see. Really.
Well, Lazio lost to Napoli 2 goals to 1 in their account. On Sunday, Brighton defeated Leicester City 5 goals to the more misery for Brendan Rodgers. Kelechi Iheanacho just scored a goal in that account, but that was not enough. Leicester City lost to Brighton 5 goals to 2. Manchester United defeated Arsenal 3 goals to 1. What do you make of that account? Eric Ten Hag going against his principles and playing the counter football against Arsenal.
I think when you come to the Premier League, principle leaves you, because you have to adapt to every game in the Premier League is not the same. The way you play this game is not the way you play the next game. So you have to study your opponents and know their weakness. So I don't think anybody will come. I only, except if you're Man City,
unless you're Manchester City.
But I still think that some of the matches Man City have failed to win. In recent times is because they've not understood that sometimes you have to defend. Sometimes you really have to defend
instead of coming all out.
If Pep understands this, maybe he'll get himself a Champions League against Real Madrid. Had they defended a little bit, had they placed a little emphasis on defending, that's something Pep Guardiola needs to learn. Yeah, some of the time you have to focus on defending more, because it doesn't take anything away from your play. It doesn't really make you a bad team. We saw it in the Champions League final with Chelsea. Chelsea were defensively minded, but they played their football too. They attacked when they needed to do, and then when they needed to defend, they defend. So I think Ten Hag, he's really doing. He's learning fast. Like he's really learning fast. He's showing. So with the progress he's making with the team, and the only thing I'm sad about for Manchester United is Jadon Sancho. Because with Anthony coming in and scoring on his debut, I think he keeps him out.
It's a very sad one.
Yeah, he's going to keep him out for a little while. So, but kudos to Manchester United. They played Arsenal how Arsenal should be played. That's exactly how Arsenal should be played.
No problem.
Because Arsenal feels they know how to attack you. So if you can, absorb the pressure and hit them on the counter, you beat them.
Well, let us see how we go in subsequent matches for Manchester United in the Sky Bet Championship quickly. Reading won Stoke City 2 goals to 1. Blackpool won Huddersfield 1 goal to 0. And Sheffield United won Hull City 2 goals to 0. Augsburg defeated Hertha Berlin Hertha Berlin defeated Augsburg 2 goals to 0. Mainz defeated Bayern Borussia Mönchengladbach by a lone goal to 0 in the German Bundesliga. And in the French Ligue 1, Monaco defeated Nice in their encounter. Spanish La Liga, Osasuna won Rayo Vallecano 2 goals to 1. Espanyol defeated Bilbao by long goal to 0, and Martin Braithwaite scored for Espanyol in that encounter. Villarreal won Elche 4 goals to 0, and Valencia defeated Getafe 5 goals to 1. In the Italian Serie A, Cremonese special play 2-2 with Bologna. Verona won Sampdoria 2 goals to 1, and Udinese, the shocking result of the weekend, defeated AS Roma 4 goals to 0, and Destiny Udogie was also on the score sheet. For today's fixtures, Monza will take on Atalanta by 5:30. Salernitana will take on Empoli by 5:30. Torino will take on Lecce by 7:45 p.m. in the Serie A, and La Liga, Valladolid will take on Almeria, who are without Umar Sadiq, by 8 p.m. 08151017777 or 09071121017. Hello, good morning to you. Hello, good morning to you. Good morning to you.
Good morning, you're welcome.
Same to you. Amen. Quickly. You're welcome.
Yes, I'm so grateful for what's going on in the sporting world. But it's unfortunate that Nigeria moving a step backward instead of going forward. Now, what is happening to great workers that are not happy about it? I pray we find out and see that that thing not really happen. But if it really happen, Nigeria Athletic Federation should start giving our athletes a very good plan. But it should not continue. Let us, because look at what are happening blessing all around every angle. And people will be there to spoil all the dreams and glory of others. I won't be happy about it. They should find a very strong passion in anybody who finds it, except the what we call predicament on our players, because we want a lot of goals in that common way. But we still have to put that into consideration. It's true or not, very important. And to my club, Manchester United, thank God that not every enemy that knows how to play. We know how to play. So let's continue praying now. We won and we continue to win. Have a blessed sporting week.
No problem. Thank you very, very much for joining us this morning. Quickly, looking at text messages. Good morning, Mona and Benjamin. Usage like Wilder will be handed his first defeat by the Gypsy King, Tyson Fury. The problem with the Super Falcons is their coach, Randy Waldrum. As things stand now, they won't make any meaningful impact in the World Cup unless something drastic is done with the team. Congrats to the Bayelsa Queens for their silly overtake. Our Chan Eagles should lick their wounds and prepare for the future. It's pathetic that we once again lost qualification tickets to Ghana. Nwosu Ensidawa from Aaron Dizogo. Well, thank you very much for your own contribution. He also says that Arsenal's perfect start to EPL was rudely truncated by Man U. The big masquerade are coming and will definitely hunt Arsenal in the Premier League. Let us see how it is going to go down. Hello, good morning to you. Hello, good morning to you. Good morning to you.
My name is Adam. I'm calling you from Owerri.
You're welcome.
Hello.
Good morning, I can hear you.
Hello.
On 08151017777 or 0907112117. Hello, good morning to you. Good morning to you. Same to you, my brother. You're welcome. You're welcome. Quickly.
I told you that this week will be a week of surprises and work for me. And I'm happy because of my club keeps after now. So why? Many people didn't believe that what the Penalties we win the particular we won.
No problem.
So to all the military that fight, we do my thing of Benjamin and Destiny. I think it is sense.
No problem. No problem. Amen. Amen. Thank you very much for your contribution this morning. Quickly, what do we have on Facebook this morning?
We have a text from Hilary Umeobi. He said, my name is Chibike Hilary from Wari. My darling team Manchester United made my weekend. I also want to thank all those Chelsea fans that gathered around me to mock me and wish me bad luck. He said they do well. We have another one from Daniel Praise saying, good morning, Muna and Oscar. How are you guys this morning? Thank God for the gift of the new week. Last week was full of sports across different continents. I want to start from my darling club, Real Madrid, and Manchester United for the wonderful performances. Glory, glory, Man United. We are back to winning ways. Finally, Arsenal unbeaten run has ended. You guys should expect more from United. My concern is Leicester City for the woeful performances so far this season. Their coach should do something with immediate effect. And then to Chelsea and the referee that robbed West Ham. God is watching now. Finally, congratulations to our Bayelsa Queens. Gracias.
Oh, thank you very much on Facebook. Good morning, Mona and Oscar. I'm very happy for my club, Man U. They are coming to the top gradually. Ezekiel from Ezinifity in Aguata local government area. We shall see if Manchester United will eventually come back to the top. Let us see how that is going to go down quickly. Oscar, your last words this morning as we call it a wrap up.
Yeah, it's, we are still trying to be hopeful and being positive that whatever happened to Okocha is just is all a misunderstanding, or maybe something that might have happened after the tournament, because it's going to be really sad if this momentum we've gathered in the athletics world is halted for 4 years. It's going to get up. It's going to be really, really difficult for us to get back to where we are. So I hope this all works out and she's cleared as soon as possible.
Well, let us see how we do go. We hope and pray as well that it would not be a case of we getting banned from any major athletics tournament, because it will be very, very devastating. Well, it was fun doing this with you, Oscar. Thank you very much for joining on the show. We will still make a return tomorrow, same time, same station, 8 a.m. Mega Sports on Omega 101.7 FM and radio, your radio. Do not forget, we have a new office at Equilobia in case you want to do anything with us. You want to do business with Omega 101.7 FM. Make sure you visit our Equilobia branch and make sure that you are all definitely closer to us more than ever. Well, we will be leaving the show this morning, but definitely tomorrow we will still make that return, because Champions League is making a return, and definitely actions are to come down from Group A up until Group H. We'll be analyzing the Champions League tomorrow and the fixtures we are definitely going to expect. On behalf of Oscar this morning, I am your host telling you that you should keep staying sporting, engage in sporting activities, and bye-bye for now.
Do you want to be a part of any of our conversations? You can join us on all of our social media platforms. On Facebook, we are at